So, as part of my dissertation study, a huge part of it, in fact, one whole chapter, is dedicated to doing a literature review. And in the literature review, we look for um, voices, scholars, teachers, voices who have written extensively about the topic that you are covering, and it helps you in terms of integrating their knowledge and wisdom and you building upon that. And so that's part of the dissertation process, is that you are building upon scholars and writers and researchers who have put literature out there, and you're intentionally trying to find a gap within the literature with your work to build upon what's already out there. And if you are a doctoral student and or you've done master theses, some of you already know all of this, but I'm just, for those of you who are coming along on the journey with me, who are not versed on literature reviews, then I just wanted to throw that out there. But anyway, so I do a lot of reading, of course. So as a researcher, you have to do a lot of reading. You have to become what they call a subject matter expert. But I don't believe that anybody could ever really become a subject matter expert, because again, every time you close your eyes and open them up, there's new literature, there's new thought, there's new ideas about what it is that you are talking about, or what it is that you want to understand or glean more wisdom or knowledge from. And so I don't think that knowledge and wisdom can be, can be finite. It's exhaustive. Um, and so yeah, so you're always on this quest for new knowledge and new information. So anyway, I sit outside. Part of my process is that I read every single day, and I try to get in at least an hour a day or more. I don't read, and you all, that may seem like a lot, but actually it's not. I don't read half as much as I should. I really wish that I could incorporate more time with reading. It's just that I'm so busy, during the day. But I get up extra early in the morning so I can at least reserve an hour. Like, that's part of my ritual. I get my coffee and then I grab my book. And I have a stack of books that I want to get through this summer. And so I'm just hopping on here just to briefly share with you one of the books that I've been reading over the last couple of weeks that I'm definitely integrating into my study. This is by Dorothy Roberts, and Dorothy Roberts is a scholar, a law professor, activist, the mom. Anyway, I took a lot of her, or I leveraged a lot of her work in a book that she had written years ago called Killing the Black Body. Profound, 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 profound book. And so if you haven't read it, you must. That is a must read. And as I continue to investigate intergenerational trauma and healing in Black women, that book speaks volumes to the intentional assault on our sexuality, on our reproductive, uh, on our reproductive rights, on our mothering, and so it is a very, very powerful read. And so the book that and I think this just came out maybe a couple of months ago, uh, Torn Apart. This is the book. Let me hold it up. Baby. Woo! This is probably one of the best, or the most well researched books that I have read in a long time. Dorothy Roberts holds no punches in this book. And as I, again, dive deeper into intergenerational trauma and healing and the structural, the systemic, the structural racism that continues to infiltrate our medical system, our social services. And she speaks to, in this book, she does a very strong critique on the child welfare system, advocating for abolition of the child policing or family, rather, the family policing system is what she has coined it. But when you get this book and you read about how the historical roots of the child welfare system, the damage that it has done in destroying so many black families, the damage, the psychological damage, the physical damage, the financial damage that it has done to black women in particular, and having them having their kids snatched from them, having their kids taken away from them for minor offenses, or sometimes for no offenses at all, just being poor black women who can't fight the system or who don't have adequate resources. And so she speaks extensively about how the child welfare system was created, and how it has always disproportionately impacted black families and black mothers. And it is just a powerful book. And so this book will definitely be going into my literature review. I will be integrating it in the materials that I am speaking about when I talk about intergenerational trauma. This is literal trauma that it continues, and that's the one thing that I build upon when I talk about intergenerational and historical trauma. This is rooted in slavery. So this is rooted in the white establishment's need to commodify black bodies. And so you got to read this book. Read this book. And it really sets the foundation for the concept of historical trauma, which is rooted in the systemic racism, the systemic sexism, the systemic abuse of black bodies, and in particular black women's bodies. And so yeah, read that. And so thank you. I just wanted to jump on here and share what I'm doing. So you all have a wonderful day.